What's going on, everybody? Sorry I haven't updated my channel over the last couple of days with Guns N' Roses news. I've been super busy just with the Christmas wind down. You know, life sometimes gets in the way, unfortunately. But you know what? I got a ton of Guns N' Roses news for you, so get a bowl of popcorn, guys. We're going to run through the news. So the first piece of news is that Richard Fortus, Guns N' Roses' current rhythm guitarist and Izzy Stradlin lookalike, got married pretty recently to a St. Louis lawyer. As you guys know, Richard Fortus is from St. Louis, and he married local lawyer Stephanie Howlett. Now, this is reported by St. Louis Today. The couple was married Saturday night at Basso Restaurant in the presence of about 25 of their closest friends, including Howlett's boss, Clayton attorney Travis Noble. And what's interesting is his wife's boss paid for the wedding. That was his gift to us, which is pretty remarkable. And then when contacted Wednesday about the honeymoon plans, the lawyer noted she was driving home to West St. Louis County from a court date in Callaway County. She said, "We spent 10 days together in Brazil in October." She was probably referring to the Guns N' Roses tour. And Richard has been on the road on tour since September, so Richard wanted to enjoy some time at home. And then, as you guys know, the article ended with talking about Axl Rose and the Riverport riot back in 1991. So congratulations to Richard Fortus. Let's move on to the other Guns N' Roses news. So for you guys attending the Guns N' Roses concert in New Zealand, there's some information about a temporary booze ban outside Auckland's Guns N' Roses concert. So as you guys know, Guns N' Roses will perform 2 concerts in New Zealand in 2017 of next year, but GNR fans won't be able to get on the lash before they go to see Guns N' Roses. So a temporary liquor ban has been posed for a raft of streets surrounding the Western Springs Stadium where the rock legends will perform on February 4th, but Auckland Stadium director ensured that the punters that alcohol will still be available for purchase inside the stadium grounds. The proposed temporary liquor ban area is shown in the article that I've linked to down below. So they're expecting about 50,000 people to attend the show as part of the Not in This Lifetime tour. However, police raised concerns about alcohol consumption before and after the show in a letter to the Auckland Council. So they asked for a temporary ban to curb disorder and preloading in the vicinity of the stadium. Then the ban was similar to one that was imposed for the AC/DC concert at the same site December of last year. So let's move on to the other Guns N' Roses news. So we've also got Christmas time coming up, which means ugly sweaters. I know I reported a bit about this before, but there's a Guns N' Roses sweater. You guys can actually enter a sweepstake to get a free one. And the only catch is that 131,000 other people have already entered. So if you guys want to buy the sweater, you can buy it for $60 US. I've linked to the article down below for you guys to go check out more information if the sweater is something that interests you or if you want to get it as a gift for someone. We also have an interview with a mayor from Canada. So the Regina's mayor, Michael Fougere, was answering several questions at the Regina District Chamber of Commerce breakfast, but it was the last question that received the most applause. So he was asked whether or not he would jam with Axl / of Guns N' Roses in August, and he said he was quick to respond, and he said he would jump at the opportunity. He said, "I'm so happy I was asked that question because, as you know, I play drums. I don't do it very well, but if I was asked to do it, I would." And as you guys know, it's actually nice to see a politician who actually enjoys good music. You know, a lot of these politicians are so squeaky clean and they don't like loud music and that kind of stuff. And, you know, it's kind of surprising, like even with the U.S. election going on the last couple elections, like I remember Paul Ryan was like really into Rage Against the Machine, which was kind of ironic. And then you had Hillary Clinton's running mate, Tim Kaine. He was really into the Replacements. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of weird for like a politician like him to be in a punk rock like that. But I'm like, oh, at least the politicians are evolving with their taste in music. And, you know, Donald Trump's a huge Rolling Stones fan and a Guns N' Roses fan. Although I think after they brought the piñata on stage and smacked it around in Mexico, I don't think he's going to be a Guns N' Roses fan anymore. Let's move on to the other Guns N' Roses news. So Richard Fortus was doing an interview not too long ago, and basically he was talking about the threat of terrorism and Guns N' Roses. You know, he basically said that, you know, Guns N' Roses has a lot of fans that come to their concerts, and it would be an ideal terrorist target because there's a lot of people and they can inflict a lot of harm. You know, that's something you'd never want to see, and hopefully that doesn't happen on the tour. Hopefully everything goes fine. Just a little snippet of the interview. He didn't really dive anything too deeper, but he said it's always in the back of his head when he's touring with Guns N' Roses. And then finally, we got some news regarding Matt Sorum. So Matt Sorum was actually did a really good interview with Mitch Lafon. He's done some great Guns N' Roses interviews. I've linked to it down below. It's a 30-minute interview or so. He talks about, you know, working with Guns N' Roses and that kind of stuff, and the songwriting. And if you guys really like Matt Sorum, which I do, it's really a good listen. He talked about holding Guns N' Roses together when they were the most dangerous band in the world. He said, "We never knew what was going to happen. There was no sense of stability whatsoever. That kept the band in a constant state of aggression. When we got on stage, we take it out on our instruments in sheer exhaustion of anger. It made the rock show legendary. People ask what's different about rock and roll, and I say it's not as dangerous as it was. I'm not saying that's a good thing. I was in the most dangerous rock and roll band in the world at one time. That's been an amazing journey, but I can't handle living my life like that anymore." He also talked about his ideas when he joined Guns N' Roses. He said everything was so much different than what I expected. I thought I was going into a straight-up rock and roll band, a crossbreed of AC/DC and Aerosmith mixed with Sex Pistols and Nazareth. Along came pianos and these epic 10-minute opuses. I was surprised. He also was very fond of memories of just how spontaneous and fresh everything was during the time, that time compared to today, where everything is rehearsed to the point of soul-destroying tedium. He said, "We didn't have a lot of time to prepare. We rehearsed for about a month and went into the studio. We had to learn 33, 34 songs, then went in and recorded everything. I was so crammed with music. I had so much to learn. In those days, I was so crazy. It was so crazy how we operated. We take 1 or 2 takes and it was in the can. You don't cut it up. You don't mess around with it like bands nowadays. It's done." He also talked about the dynamic of Guns N' Roses at that time, and he has clear opinions on every member's role and responsibility. So he said everything that happened was so natural and everyone was given free rein. The leader, I would probably say, was Slash. He had such a work ethic. Axl was the front guy, the guy controlling what was going on that night. They needed a guy that could hold the fort together, and I did that. It was an interesting time because things were moving so fast. I look back with admiration that we all lived through it. He also talked a bit about the Guns N' Roses reunion. He said they're out there doing that, going on stage on time every night. Times have changed, haven't they? What's going now is great for them, but I was there when it was great too, probably the greatest. So if you guys want to check out the entire interview, I've linked to it down below. That does it for today's Guns N' Roses news, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. Let me know your thoughts, and as always, guys, make sure you subscribe for the latest Guns N' Roses news. Take care.